Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Shannon. I'm here with Melissa Moak and Ellie Thompson, and we will be presenting our final Zen Garden project. I'm going to speak first about our choice of theme. Since we were able to design and code a one of the best themes to base that off of was 80s videos. And on the screen, I have a couple examples that we pulled it from. We pulled bright colors and the different shapes going on here. Cats came into play because honestly was especially kitty cats. And the images that we created with our 80s kitty theme, and they're super cute, doing different kitty poses. With these things as the foundation for our theme, we drew typography and creativity ideas from 80s workout videos, and our pictures were very much based off of kitty cat exercise.
Hi, this is Ellie, and I'll be talking about how we implemented our theme. We created all of the images and patterns on our website using SVGs, with the exception of the CSS shapes in our footer. The patterns behind each kitten were created using patterns from 1980s VHS tapes as reference, which you can see here. Our heading font was chosen to be intentionally quirky and over the top to reflect some of the outrageous fonts that were used during that era. Our color scheme was also chosen to reflect the bright neon colors that were on trend during that time. And we sampled colors directly from the VHS tape covers and selected 5 main theme colors, which you can see in the sidebar. We also use CSS transforms to rotate and add the different sections of our side navigation and added an animation to create a fun element to the page. The footer links were styled with CSS shapes that mimic common shapes used during the 1980s.
Some of the difficulties that we ran into while creating this was, at least one of them, was when we were trying to get these cats to move to the side of our text. So when you start as a mobile first approach, which is how we started, our cats were above or below the text, which made it, when we got bigger, it made it so that the cats were above or below, floating left to the right. And so it made it really difficult to put it on the sides. But after fiddling around with it, we decided to put the pseudo elements on the headers of each section rather than on the div of each section, which allowed us to float it to the left or to the right of each of the headers. Another difficulty was that the text wrapped under each of the images and didn't look as nice, so we had to figure out how to make the patterns under the cats to be the full width or full height of the section. We found that by changing both the pattern and the cat to an absolute position, this actually fixed our problem, and also fixed the fact that we didn't have to put the pseudo element on the headers anymore, but we could put it on the entire div, since we could actually fix the cats to either the left or right of our sections without having to float them left or right. And this ended up simplifying our code quite a bit.
So some of our favorite parts of this project, I personally worked a lot on the kittens and the patterns, and I really enjoyed learning how to create these kind of continuous patterns that repeat themselves without having any sort of break. So that was pretty fun. Using SVGs. I also really liked how using SCSS made our collaboration easy. And since the elements were nested, it was a lot easier to try. You didn't have to go hunting down like that one random CSS rule that was throwing off whatever you were trying to style, which was nice.
All right. I had several favorite parts of the project. Whoops. Sorry, no more of Inception. I was able to help a lot with the design portion and creating wireframes, and it was a lot of fun to have more freedom in it than I usually get at work because of the professional field. I was able to create this fun sidebar design that was behind it, and that was made with SVG. It was fun to create something that you could make repetitive as much as possible without looking like it was cut off I also enjoyed creating the fun borders that separate them. It was interesting to research it and trying. And the biggest part that I enjoyed about that was manipulating the HTML that we weren't able to or allowed to touch to be able to have them in the right portion, the right sections instead of in weird places, and to getting and making sure that it was mobile ready too. This here, you can see. So, and I can just show you a little bit of the section of the code for that. And that was here. I ended up using class names to put them in the right spot, and I used the background for linear gradient.
So my favorite part was, well, actually, my favorite part was really kind of my favorite part of any project, and that's taking the wireframe that we started with, the basic design, and bringing it into this full interactive page that everyone can go and view and enjoy. I worked quite a bit on the layout of the page to get it to look like our wireframe, but also still be responsive, so that when you got down really small, you could still see some of the text, and nothing got cut off, and the difficulties that came with that. As well as being able to add all these different images and patterns, and figuring out the difficulties of adding the image as a before, but adding the pattern as an after, and not just having the images be in the HTML. It was really interesting to me to kind of figure out, okay, well, how would I problem solve this? I've got to put this here and this here, and it was a lot of fun for me. I actually, enjoyed the difficulties because it gave me that time to be able to research and to really get down and kind of dig deep into the code. We've got some fun responsiveness on the site in making the sidebar easy to read, and that just kind of adds something fun to the page. Back to you, Megan.
Oh, well, thank you guys for listening to our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it.